Hello everybody, welcome to WineActually TV, Malaysia's first wine TV. I'm your host, my name is Shaun Lee, and we taste wine. So today we're going to be tasting some Pinot Noir, but before we move on to wine tasting, I'd like to send out my special thanks to Quirky Malaysia for your feedback, as well as Chris Lam. If you're seeing this, thank you very much for your comments, your feedback on Twitter. And as well as those other people who have been leaving comments on Facebook. Thank you very much. And today we're going to be tasting a Pinot Noir. Pinot Noir is a very special grape. The thing about Pinot is that it's very difficult to plant. It's a difficult grape because what happens is the bunches tend to be it's a tight bunch their grapes, so it tends to rot quite easily. And then it ripes under cold weather, and the skin is not cold, under cooler climates. And the skin is quite thin, so what you come to realize is that a lot of Pinots, it's very low in tannins, so it's very easy to drink. So when people say, I find in Malaysia a lot of people like to say if a wine is very smooth, well, Pinots will be like that because you don't get a lot of tannin action. At the same time, from the feedback that we've been getting, a lot of people don't seem to know how to taste wine. So what we're going to be doing in this episode is, as we taste this wine, we're also going to be teaching you how to taste wine, like the tasting techniques, the 4 S's that Wilson talked about a couple of days ago. So let's start. The wine that we're going to be tasting today is Jane Hunter's. Whoops. It's Hunter's. It's by Jane Hunter. Family-owned boutique winery in Marlborough. Premium region for Sauvignon Blancs, Pinot Noirs, and all that. And this wine scored 88 points. It's 2008. Scored 88 points with Wine Spectator. And it's priced at it's about 93, 90, so it's about 94 ringgit for 88 points. So let's give it a try. Right. If you look at it, the first S is C. So what do you see? As you can see, it's very light in color.
Put it behind the...
Oh, you want to put it behind the white? Does it help? As you can see, the color is not intense at all, and it's not uncommon for Pinot Noirs to look like that.
Higher a bit.
Right.
Okay.
It's not very intense color-wise. Light purple. It's young. It does look fresh. This is actually, it's quite a nice color. Not intense, as I said. So this is what you look for. So for white wines, as they age, they take color from the barrel, so it becomes from light to dark. So you get aged white wine tends to be gold in color, that sort of thing. With red wines, it's the opposite. Red wines, as they age, it becomes lighter and slightly even browny, orangey. So that's the result of oxidation. That's what you look for. And then some people will talk about legs. I never quite buy these legs. Because what you look at when you look at legs is you swirl the glass. You swirl the glass and then you see are there legs, and how fast these legs drip down. If it's a sweet wine, what happens is because sugar is obviously sticky, so it tends to drip down very slowly. So it'll have beautiful legs in a wine. But I don't know. I'm not convinced with all that. It doesn't tell quality. That's why I don't like it. Now, second is when you sniff. How do you sniff? Why do people... there's a reason why people swirl before they sniff. The reason why they do it is because, obviously there's alcohol in there. If you just stick your nose in the glass and start smelling, all you're going to smell is alcohol. So what you do is you swirl to mix the compounds together, and you also at the same time you aerate it, you air the wine a little bit so it opens up. That's the idea behind swirling. So let's have a sniff. Get cherries, raspberries, A little bit of smoke, a little bit of oak. I'm pretty sure this wine has seen some form of oak. Maybe not in a barrel, we don't know, because these days a lot of people, what they do is that they add oak chips. It's kind of like cheating a bit loud. With oak chips, it doesn't, the oak smell sometimes don't last as long. I mean, if you imagine if they stay in the barrel, they absorb it from the whole barrel, and start adding chips and all that. Not very intense on the nose. A lot of red fruits that is coming through. Oh, yeah. In terms of what I smell, these are things these are things which are very difficult for me to teach you. It's almost like trying to ask me to like describe the color blue. I can't do that. I mean, the only way you can do it is to experience it. Go to the market, start smelling fruits, even if you don't buy them, and I'm sure they don't mind.
Gems.
What?
Drinking gems.
Huh?
Jam. Fruit gems.
Oh yeah. Like, you know how some people like to describe wine as jammy, fruity jammy wine? Smell jam. Simple. Now, let's taste this wine, and you come to realize I make a lot of noise when I taste it. I'm not being rude or anything. What I'm trying to do is trying to taste it better. And if you observe how I do it, there's a reason. Because I try to suck some air in to air the wine more so that it goes towards the back part of my mouth where your nose is connected, so you can actually sense more of these different flavors. So yeah. You know what? Acidity is probably between medium and high, so it's quite sour. It is. You get the cherries, raspberries that I mentioned just now, but on top of that, the oak comes through more, the wood comes through more. You get more smoke. Length is pretty amazing. Oh, a lot of people, I've had this question like, what is length? To me, good quality wine is something where after you drink it, after you swallow, the taste lingers for about at least 10 seconds. To me, that's good quality. If you have 10 seconds worth of length, that's brilliant. But the catch is, if the wine tastes like shit, you don't want it to linger for like 10 seconds. So that's the thing. I mean, length, what it does tell you is that they use quality grapes, but with making wine, it's not just about the grape, it's also how you make it, the wine making techniques. So, yeah, you need both to make good quality wine. You need good grapes and you need good people to make good wine. Personally, I'd score this probably about 89 points. I might even go 80. Yeah, probably about 89 is the most. That's another thing. Food pairing. You know how people always say, right, with white wine you have to go with white meats, fish. Red wines you have to go with steak. It is not true. Like a Pinot Noir is very low in tannins. Wines like this would actually go well with an oily fish like salmon because it's low in tannins. You don't get the awful, like, very metallic-y taste when you eat it with something very oily. But I'd serve this slightly chilled because it's a Pinot. It's light. Light wines, Beaujolais, Pinot Noir, you tend to chill it before you drink it. But in Malaysia, you should be chilling most of your reds. So don't be afraid to try this with a salmon, with a fish. And that's about it. Bye!